I this guys. Okay, good. All right, good evening, folks. Damn it, but you look like I'm sticking. Good evening, folks. This is the Brom Talk Show, and tonight we are here to discuss the upcoming 39th anniversary of the Liberian People's Party, one of the oldest political party in the country, the first being the True Wing Party. Tonight we have with us Dr. James Wanendo, who is the chairman for uh, policy and planning for the party. In other words, in our Liberian way, the man who writes all the big book for the party.
Hmm.
And more besides, we have
Wow.
the chairman for the USA, Dr. Augustus. We'll be having an interaction with them, an interactive discussion with them pertaining to the party, Liberian People's Party, when it was founded and when it's a celebration of their anniversary and why at this time when the election is here. I'm going to bring to you our guests, Dr. Doe and Dr. Augustus Rabo. Good evening, gentlemen, and welcome to the Brom Talk Show.
Good evening.
Evelyn?
Well, I'm happy that you are here today, and so we can tell our people what it means if we say um, the Liberian People's Party, the oldest, one of the oldest party in the country, what makes it to be the oldest, and all of that. So those are things that we'll be discussing here uh, tonight. You already know, or maybe you want to share with our viewers tonight a little bit about yourself. There are new people who are also viewing us, so I can assume that we already know you. So let's start off with the chairman for the Liberian People's Party USA, Dr. Augustus D. Roberts. Can you share with our viewers a little bit about yourself, sir?
Well, I want to thank you for the opportunity to appear on the Broom Show.
Are you
And
hearing me, Dr. Roberts?
yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I
You
hear.
are
I hear
muted,
him.
sir.
I hear him.
Can you hear me?
You are muted,
Yeah.
Dr. Roberts.
Oh, I, Dr. Do, can you hear me?
Yeah. Very loud and clear. Yeah.
Okay.
We still cannot hear you.
It seems that you are,
We are not hearing you, Dr. Roberts.
I'm hearing him though.
he can hear me. That means we are on the same line. You might be in different room. Can you check your system
Dr.
and
Do, can
see?
you hear him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello.
I hear you too.
Dr. Do, can you hear me?
Yes, he
Yeah.
said he can hear you.
I hear you.
And I can hear Dr. Do.
Well, I'm not
So
hearing you at all.
okay, let me go out and come back then. Okay. Mm, 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 mm. Okay.
Hmm. Mm-mm. Can you hear me, Zoga?
Dr. Doe, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, but I don't know what went wrong. I was not hearing Roberts anymore.
Yeah, I heard him earlier.
Okay, all right. So, oh, there he comes. All right, that's the tech computer now. Two
I,
Mm.
give up. Wow.
wow.
Yeah. All right. So thank God we're back. Thank God we are back. So Dr. Roberts, can you share with our audience a little bit about yourself? Because there are different audience watching us now in some other areas. So please tell us about yourself.
Okay, I am Augustus D. Ramos. I'm the current chairman for LPP USA, and I want to thank you for the opportunity to appear on the Broom Talk Show. And I want to thank all our supporters and members who have worked with us over the past years. Now, as we approach the election, we are appealing to everyone to give us the required support and to also vote number 6, and that is Councillor Tiawon Se Gonglo and Dr. Emmanuel Ure Jakpabro. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Dr. Doe, a little bit about yourself before we go to our few questions tonight.
Sure. Once again, thank you, Comrade Zoga, for having us on the Broom Talk once again. I also want to take this time to say hi to all of our supporters at home who will be up at this time and listening to the YouTube or Facebook, as well as to our supporters here in the diaspora. Um, we are definitely at a very important juncture in our campaign, which should be taking place in the next 25 to 26 days. And our purpose of being on tonight is to appeal to you, our supporters, to really step up your support and come out to support our candidate in persons of Councillor Tiawon Segonglo and Dr. Emmanuel Ure Yakpawodo. We hope our engagement tonight with you will inspire you to join us this coming Saturday when we celebrate LPP's 39th anniversary, as well as launching our third fundraiser. So again, I am the current chairperson for our planning policy and platform committee of LPP USA. That's my portfolio. I'm here with my chairperson, Dr. Roberts. So I look forward to sharing with you what our plans are for this Saturday, and also sharing with you some things about the campaign on the ground. Thank you so much, Mrs. Zoga.
All right, thank you so much. To my let me find out. I understand that you're going to be celebrating your 39th anniversary. What does the celebration of your anniversary, the anniversary of the Liberian People's Party, mean to the party? What does it mean to the party?
I like the chairman.
And yeah,
Maybe the chairman can speak to
Oh,
that.
okay.
I'll
yeah.
follow him.
Thank you
What?
very much,
Yes.
Comrade Zoga. You know, one thing that is very much important to the Liberian people is that ability to enjoy a better standard of living and a better quality of life. And like any other people around the world, Liberians love freedom. And freedom is not just political. It can be economic freedom. It can be the freedom from sickness. It can be any other thing that enables you to have a better quality of life. And we believe years past that those were the principles upon which we should build a party that will belong to the people and that will also help to set up a platform to liberate our people. And today, as we discuss, it was in August in 1984 that the party was formally announced to the Liberian people. Say, look, this is your party. And if it comes to liberation, it is not a group of armed men getting up to overthrow that will liberate you, but it is rather yourself. You should participate in the process of liberating yourself. First, understand that you are not free until you are prepared to free yourself and have the ability to set into motion the processes that will enable you to live a better life. So, yes, 39 years ago, that process started. But before then, there were institutions that were in place, like the Susuku as a grassroots movement to help Liberians liberate themselves, feed themselves, and provide other facilities for themselves. And we're looking at sustainable development, not NGO development where people come and build a well for you or they come and build a house. When looking at it, Liberians themselves cannot maintain that house because they did not have a role in building the house. So those were the principles that the Liberian People's Party was built upon. And this gone August, that is last month, we're 39. Next year we're going to be 40. And with everything being equal, by the 40th and before the 40th anniversary, we hope to have a president in the executive mansion. Thank you.
Dr. Doe, let's switch on the other side. What is the proudest memory of achievement that your party can boast of?
You know, that's clearly a very good question, because at 39 years of age, definitely there are things that LPP can be clearly proud of that perhaps many of our people don't know about. You talk to some people, they've really never heard about LPP. And they just think this was a party born 2 or 3 years ago. But LPP has been around now almost 3 decades, approaching 4 decades. And when you talk about a proud moment of this party, I think our people need to know that LPP was one of the early contemporary political parties that led the way for multi-party democracy in Liberia. That is perhaps, if for nothing else, that is a very proud achievement that for some of us who's been around this party for quite a while can appreciate, because the party led a lot of struggles. As you well know, Liberia was a one-party state for more than a century and a half, a century and a quarter, for about 130 years. It was a one-party state led by the True Party oligarchy. But well, during the reign of the True Party oligarchy, there were many pressure groups, there were many advocacy groups, among which was the Movement for Justice in Africa, that really gave birth to the Liberian People's Party. And during the early years, in the early 70s, throughout the 70s, it was activism. The level of activism that existed in the country was so high among students, among workers, dark workers, among farmers, rubber tappers from Firestone. All of those things, stirrings, people calling for change, for opening the political space in the country that was only dominated by one political party and the ruling elite at that time. So LPP was one of the early forerunners pushing for and calling for multi-party democracy. What we see today as multi-party democracy in Liberia, where you have over 20 presidential candidates and well over 25 political parties, did not happen overnight. There are a group of people who led the way for us to reach this stage we are today. So that started by the mid 80s, and at every significant point of change in Liberia, LPP had a presence. Even though the party by the mid 80s was banned by the military junta. So the party actually went underground because of all the suppression that took place. Many of our people were put in the slammer, they were sent to jail. They were, they had to leave to go and live in other countries in exile and all of that. So the party suffered some setbacks, but it always kept itself together through these kinds of, regular meetings, consultations, and what have you. So the short of the long is the proudest achievement of the Liberian People's Party that the party can boast of, that very few other parties can speak about. And with the exception of the United People's Party, led by the late firebrand Gabriel Bacchus Matthews. Other than that party, these were the two parties, the Liberian People's Party and United People's Party, who were the early forerunners for multi-party democracy in Liberia. So, that was one of the LPP's greatest achievements. And today we're thankful that whatever they advocated for is still with us, because, as I say, every election cycle, there's some new political party registering, some old parties drop out, some new parties come in. I mean, a young country, we have almost 24 political parties. So, the space, the political space, once dominated by one political group, has now been opened, led by LPP, that has made it possible for us to have several political parties today. Thank you, Mrs. Zoga. I'll stop there.
I know your party since its establishment. There has been a lot of changes which you have alluded to, but let's be a little bit specific on the side of the party itself. There have been a lot of changes, maybe when it comes to rule of law, and what change specifically is the party really happy about since its its inception? Which kind of change, what type of change is the party really is happy about and can boast about? There's a lot of changes you've made in the country based on your explanation, but which specific one that the party is really happy about that have had some impact on the Liberian people? Any of you can
Well,
answer that.
well, I mean, in, in terms of, you know, changes that has happened since the transition to peace in Liberia, and since the Liberia's held its first post-war elections in 2005. LPP did participate in that elections, and the fact that uh, peace has been sustained, even though it is still very fragile, you know, in the country, because with the way in which governance has been conducted in the country, it's still very fragile. But we've had 20 good years of peace. I would say that change since post-war Liberia, since 2003, 2005, because we had a transitional government in place. Up to this point, I would say that thanks to the Liberian people for ensuring that they have tried to maintain the peace throughout this period for the last 20 years. But there's still a lot of work to be done. So that change from war to peace, I think, is a remarkable one. You know, that every Liberian should really be proud of.
All right, what
You know,
activity? Yes, okay, yes. Before you,
I may add, Mr. Zioga, you would realize that when uh, Liberia was brought to its knees during the Civil War, there was one thing that happened. There was a group of people that the international community, including our West African brothers, saw, and they thought we could better play a role that would bring back our nationhood. That
Mhm.
was when the founders of LPP and members of LPP actually took over the leadership. And one major thing that happened during that period was the kind of liberal political policy, including the freedom of speech that people had. For the first time, a lot of radio stations were established. For the first time, the interim president, the late Dr. Edmond Claudia Sawyer, was challenged. People say what they wanted to say about him, including insults, and no one was arrested.
Mhm.
So the seed of freedom was right there and then planted. It began to sprout. It grew to some extent. People were brave to challenge Charles Taylor, even when he was elected president. And when the alien regime came in, uh, she also helped to kind of reinforce what the IGNU government established. And therefore, a lot of radio stations for the first time begin to operate. People could talk about the president anyhow, and you can see that up to today, although the George Weah government is specialized in eh, corruption and mismanagement and all other activities, you see that there is some semblance of political freedom. We do not currently have political prisoners like in the past. That is one thing that we as a party, the Liberian People Party, should be credited for. We planted the seed of freedom. People learn how to express themselves. People learn how to get in the streets to challenge the government. And that is something that is going to live with us. That today we come out to say, look, we need your support. We need the support of Liberians so that we can properly educate our people. That only they are the one that can liberate themselves. It's not any other ragtag army. It's not any group of people who want change. The change should come from us, and we should be able to sustain it if it comes from us. That is one important achievement of the Liberian People's Party.
Thank you so much, Dr. Roberts. Now we're going to switch over and go to what do you expect on the day of your anniversary, and what date have you planned? What are the activities you have for that day?
Well, like you heard earlier from my colleague, the official formation of LPP took place in August, and because of time and other things, and we had to deal with the elections, the upcoming elections. We really haven't had the time to celebrate our anniversary. So those of us here in the diaspora decide among ourselves that, look, we have to schedule a time not too far from the official anniversary date to do something that will give memory to the formation of our party. And we do some things that will help celebrate our long years of being around politics in Liberia, the Liberian People's Party. So come this Saturday, which will be on the 16th, September the 16th, we have decided to plan a program that will include a fundraiser to celebrate our 39 years of being a political party. There are a number of things that will take place during the celebration. We've extended invitation to all of our members, all of our supporters. We're doing a massive outreach, including this program, which is really to inform, educate, and promote the anniversary this Saturday. So one of the things we have going is to have some of our members who've been around the party for a while to talk about how the party evolved from where it started to this point, to talk about the current elections and the campaign. How is LPP faring in the campaign process? And then of even more greater importance is to talk about women participation in our politics. And this is something LPP have really put a high premium on, how to promote women in Liberian politics, because for a long time, women have really been marginalized. Some relatively new countries in Africa and Latin America and elsewhere have beat us to this. In the Liberian legislature, for example, I think there are only no more than 15 women. No more than 15 women in the House and the Senate. In the Senate alone, there are only 2 women. That's Madam Kanga from Grand Bassa, and then Bodo Kanen from Bapolo. And then in the House, I think there are about 7 women. I don't know which counties they represent. So there's really a very limited participation of women. And LPP have looked at this very seriously and said, well, no, something has to be done about this. So we want to promote women. We are promoting women, and part of the celebration is to women voices. We have somebody talk about how we can enhance the participation of women, and then as I said, that will be followed by our fundraiser, which we've been running for the last month. We hope people can come out and support it. I'll just pause there for a minute.
All right, thank you so much, sir. So the celebration is on the 16th, like you said, on Saturday.
Yeah.
On Saturday, 2023, that is come. Folks, if you're listening to us by way of Facebook and YouTube, we are on the Broom Talk Show and having a discussion about the 39th anniversary of the Liberian People's Party. And at this time, the party would also be featuring women who would be able to speak to the Liberian people for like between 4 or 5 minutes, giving them the hope that women also need to take part in politics so that they can also be able to make decisions on behalf of the children as well as the women. And at this time, they will also be having a fundraiser and have also called on people to help and see how Councillor Gonglo can be elected. Still on the program, or the 39th anniversary. What do you expect of the members that are listening tonight, or those who will be preparing to come and attend the program online? Is it going to be online, or Dr. Roberts, or is going to be in a hall face to face, or that's going to be online?
It's going to be a virtual program.
Okay.
Program. We will
All
have
right.
online fundraising, and we're going to have our singing broom show, as well as we also try to have uh, a Zoom room if possible. But mainly we're going to get back in the same room and expect people to come out and talk to us, at the same time support all the activities we have to carry out. For some time now, we've been raising money to support our women candidates, especially. We've also been raising money to train our pool washers. And we also been raising money to generally support our candidates. Our presidential candidate, Councillor Tiawan Gonglo, our vice presidential candidate. We are ensuring that we put up a good fight so that we can win the elections on October 10. And we are calling on all those that do not have tolerance for corruption, for poverty, and every other thing that has gone against Liberians for so long, for inequality. We want people to come out and give us the support. We have a candidate with a reputation that is prepared from day one to lead the people to a better Liberia, to lead the people for them to understand that a better Liberia is possible, and every one of us can work together to establish that better Liberia. That is why we are calling on our own members and our supporters to be a part of the program on Saturday. We're going to start at 5 p.m. So if you are around, you can come from 5 to 11 p.m. We'll be available. We'll be talking. We'll be fundraising at the same time.
Thank you, Dr. Roberts. But we're going to have a commercial for 3 minutes. The Liberian People's Party. We have a drama that explains in briefly what the Liberian People's Party hope to do in the future.
Women,
now,
children, they will go to the hospital and get good treatment, and plenty medicine will be in the hospital. That when people get sick, when they go there, so they can be treated good.
Whoa.
Number 3.
Number 3.
Tiawa Gongro and Yagbaro say public health compound will be in all the county. and they will make sure that they will fix the road. And the mud business all on the road will finish. That's a good thing there.
That good thing.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Councillor Gongro and Dr. Yagbaro say
Uh-huh.
they will make sure they support all the farmers in Liberia.
Huh?
They will support them with machines.
Uh-huh.
And they will make sure that they produce plenty rest in Liberia for us. And the army people will also join them and produce rest in Liberia and make sure they produce plenty rest for our citizens.
Uh-huh.
Number 5.
Number 5. Mm-hmm.
Number 5.
Number 5.
School fee.
Uh-huh.
School fee. Councillor Gongro and Dada Yagbaro say from ABC to 12th grade, the school fee will be free for all government schools. And all the teachers will be paid. And all volunteer teachers will get on government payroll. No more volunteer teacher business.
So that all the things Councillor Gongro and Yagbaro will do there?
Mantewa? No. Let me tell you more. Councillor Gongro and Yagbaro, they get plenty things to do for Liberia.
Tell me more. I want to know. Tell me, I want to hear more.
Councillor Gongro and Dr. Yagbaro say, when you vote for them for president and vice president, there will be no Harman building in Liberia. Harman will run away. Feke. Anybody who do Harman business and kill human being, they will use the law to kill that person.
That's the right thing there.
Number 7. Councillor Gongro and Dr. Yagbaro say, when you vote for them to become president and vice president, there will be no Zogo building in Liberia. They will make sure all the people that begin to buy drugs in the country, they will go after them and make sure they put stop to it. That's not good news there.
That's good news.
So, Mantewa, there are plenty things that Councillor Gongro and Dr. Yagbaro and the Liberian People Party will do to make Liberia better. So, let's stop here. And we'll come back another day. I will still tell you more.
Yeah, we more God. Before you go, let me just ask you one question.
Ask a question, Tiwa. When it comes to the Liberian People Party and Councillor Gongro and Dr. Yagbaro business, I can't get tired. You even want for us to spend the whole day here, we'll spend the whole day here. Ask your question.
Woman God,
Yes, man.
we come to go for election October 10.
Yeah.
We will be voting for people we like. Our president, our vice president, our senator, and our representative. How we will know Councillor Gongro and Dr. Yagbaro and the Liberian People Party?
Good. It's easy. You only need to know the clothes they having on and the broom they having in their hand.
Oh.
Only Councillor Tewan Gongro and Dr. Imaya Yagbaro having the same traditional clothes and hat. And the color are the Liberian flag color, red, white, and blue. And Councillor Tewan Gongro and Dr. Imaya Yagbaro, when you check it from up coming down, they are number 6 on the ballot paper.
Oh.
Councillor Tewan Gongro and Imaya Yagbaro, they are the only people that have the broom laying on their clothes. And the Liberian People Party sound also that a broom.
Umoga, thank you for telling me all about the Liberian People Party.
Government is the place to serve, not to steal. A better Liberia is possible. Honor Councillor Tewan Gongro and Dr. Emmanuel Yagbaro. Let us vote for them, yeah.
All right, so you heard that. You heard that, a very good piece, and the Liberian People's Party, represented by Councillor Tiawanse Gonglo and Dr. Emmanuel Yuri Yagbaro, are number 6. When you get to the voting center on October 10, you want to vote number 6 for Councillor Tiawanse Gonglo. And the drama just summarized what the Liberian people need. The drama, this very short drama, summarized what the Liberian people need: health, sufficiency, food sufficiency, road connections of road, education, and we want rehabilitation of our young people. Dr. Roberts, what is the hope and aspiration party?
Well, the expectation of the party for now is for Liberians to come out to support our party and to also vote for our candidate come October 10. And that means you got to prepare yourself the day before and go early to the voting centers and make sure you have your ID card, especially the one that is being used, the citizen card with you. That is, you place it somewhere the day before so that you know exactly when day breaks where to grab it and then go to the center and be one of the first person to vote. Consider yourself number one and vote number six. That is a major expectation that we have. And so from October 10, the 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 the, the plan that we have is for us to begin to involve the Liberian people in the leadership of their own country. We don't have any other plan besides the kind of plan that will help improve the living condition of the Liberian people. And that is the expectation that we have. People will have their own fate in their hands and will all work together to create a government that will be of the people, for the people, and by the people. And that means corruption will come to an end on October 10th. That also means we begin to fight poverty, which is our common enemy. And should people be poor in a country with a lot of resources? And should we tolerate poverty? Should we tolerate corruption? Should we tolerate mismanagement? It's only in Liberia that such thing happens. So we are appealing to everyone to be a part of this process. And we are appealing to every peace-loving and freedom-loving Liberian to support the efforts that we are making in order to get us somewhere where we will have a leadership that will primarily think on the liberation of our people from poverty, from illiteracy, from hunger. And that is the role we are on. And we expect Liberian people to follow us so that we all work together to accomplish the goals that we have set.
All right, gentlemen, we have gone like 40 minutes, 44 minutes, and we got the 15 minutes to go out of here. But there is a saying, before you become man, someone has to mentor you. Or before you become successful in life, you have to have a mentor. Liberian People's Party has a man, we always call him the man of integrity. The standard bearer, Councillor Chawanse Gonglo. I know he didn't just gain this integrity when he was with the political party. Neither did Dr. Rabas, with all of these sweet things he's saying to us here. Neither Dr. Doe. Now tell us, who has been the role model of this party? Who has been the mentor of this party? Who is the guy that all of the members of this political party have followed, that they are so unique? If you talk about the United People or the Liberian People's Party, those who have been ahead or what have you, I mean, you in the other word, they are not too rich because they are not corrupt. Tell us, who has been the mentor of this party?
I like the way you phrase it, Comrade Zoga, that in life you gotta have somebody that nurtures you, from your family to your church, maybe to your work environment. You always meet people that play a significant role in shaping your life from childhood to adulthood. Not to talk about being members of a political party. LPP has been greatly blessed to have had people who were the early founders of this party that set the tone and the stage to mentor other young people. I mean, very, very blessed. Some of the early scholars and intellectuals that founded this party were people who led the way for raising awareness amongst young people who were idealistic, wanted change, wanted change to see change come in Liberia after many years of one-party rule, after many years of suffering that went on in that country. So you probably have heard names like the late Dr. Emma Sawyer, one of the eminent scholars and intellectuals in Liberia. You may have heard of the name Dr. Tubana Tipote, and Dr. H. Boyama Fambule, and several others, including Dew Tuam Water Mason, and the list go on and on. Some of these people, some of us were blessed to have had them as our tutors, as our professors while at the University of Liberia, well before even becoming members of the Liberian People's Party. So they had enormous influence on many of us who were very young at that time, in our teenage years, early 20s, going to University of Liberia, Cotton University College, even well through high school. On a personal level, my own connection with at the time, Moja started when I was in 11th grade at St. Patrick's High School. 11th grade. First time hearing Dr. Sawyer speak, I was just influenced well before I even got to the university level. So we've had the blessings of having these kinds of mentors. And as I said, they were not only people who had all these high flowing degrees, but there were other people in the communities who we equally learned from by their example, by what they did for their community at the time. I grew up, for example, in Yucatan, and I can tell you there were a lot of mentors I had, coming up at the time, other than my parents. So that kind of influence have stuck with LPP. LPP has always been like that, because that's the tradition we've set. We are a political party that learn from each other. People say, "Oh, we are too critical, of each other," but we use criticism as a way of learning, and it has enhanced, it has improved not only our critical thinking capacity, but through the process of criticism and self-criticism, we've all learned from each other. So, to say the mentorship have just gone across the board and have stuck with this party well through its 40 years. And we're hoping, if the Liberian people bless us tomorrow to give us the privilege of getting state power, those are the kinds of examples we would like to bring into government. The examples of making sure the young people are adequately mentored, whether in school, whether at the work environment, the examples of honesty and integrity, all those things are the kinds of things we'd like to see incorporated in our governance structure. So, as I said, that's how the party has functioned over these years.
All right. So for the next few minutes, each of you, throwing the questions there, and after the answer of that questions, to give your final talks tonight to the Liberian people. There is the generation continuum. The Liberian that we have today was not a Liberian yesterday. We are another set of generation. What kind of advice does this noble political party, this political party with all of what a party has to possess, what advice do you have for the future generation in Liberia?
Well, if I may come in when it comes to advising the current generation,
As
and
relating also to the political,
right, and
as
just
also relating to
before
the elections,
yeah,
yes.
before coming to that question, let me first of all add on to what my colleague just said. And generally, we have various institutions that were established by our founders, and our standard bearer is one guy that cuts across several generations because he worked with Dr. Sawyer during the interim government as a special advisor or special assistant to the interim government or to the interim president. He also served in the early government in various positions. And currently, one thing a lot of people don't know about him is that he is the current leader of the movement for justice in Africa. And so you can see that he has been groomed by several leaders, and the past immediate past leader is Dr. Otokwana Tibote, who is one of his mentors. So he has had several mentors. He worked in several governments, and he's not new to politics, and he's not coming to learn anything new. Now, when it comes to advising our current generation, as Macaulay pointed out to go by, we actually pick up those ideas of freedom, liberation, etc., from high school. By the time that was in high school in the mid to late 80s, we're already having guys coming to us from the university. Guys like Alaric Tokwa, Thomas Du, and James Loking. Those were mentors, and they have been part of the Liberian People's Party. And they actually show us the way when it comes to how to work with people and how to en- empower people, how to conscientize people. So today, telling young people, okay, you got to be involved in politics is not enough. What is more important is to set up structures that will empower people to to question authorities and institutions. And that is what I think is lacking today. That institution that has the ability to empower young people to participate in politics. And we're talking about women participation. We're talking about the youth participation. How many young persons we have in the Senate or the legislatures that we point out and say, look, this man is 19 years old or this man is 25 years old. We don't have it. And so it requires the setting up of institutions. And those institutions, part of the LPP, has to play a major role in conscientizing the youth so that they will play a better political role tomorrow, so that they will not perpetuate this pedagogy of corruption that exists at all levels of Liberian government.
And your last, okay, so that's all right. Then we move to Dr. Doe.
Yes, I think sometimes I really pity the current generation because we've got a new culture, a new political culture in that country that puts values on the wrong things. Uh, and that has affected many of our young people. The whole idea of getting rich quick through the shortest cut one can find, no regards for elders, no regards for women. You can see how the rape crisis in the country has increased. The young people no longer put any value on the importance of education, and they can be held responsible. They cannot, because the governance structure we currently have not created an environment to encourage positive values amongst our young people. You heard my colleague talk about corruption. Corruption is at its highest. And most people think the only way you can acquire wealth in a short space of time is through corruption. You get a government job, the next thing you think about is how I can steal, to secure me a car or to build my own mansion. This is the kind of culture we have today, and it has greatly impacted the young people in that country, and it truly has to change. Just reading some statistics the other day, there are more young people out of school than in school today. I mean, when we were coming up, my generation, and I'm sure Robert's generation as well, education was so important because we had role models that we could look up to. We say, oh, this person, has this level of education. They're a professor somewhere, they're working in government somewhere. So people have role models they could look up to, whether from their family background, whether from civic society background, whether from government or non-governmental background. There were always role models that the young people, the young generation could look up to. But these days you can't even find that. You can't find that. You listen to the radio, you read the newspapers, it's all we see is corruption after corruption. And it's not only has it made it hard for the young people, but it has really confused them. They don't even know which direction to pursue. Because the structures that we're supposed to have in place to help them, good school system, good social system, those things are no longer around. All of that has been, they've either disappeared or they're all broken. So this is why we say that in LPP we have the alternative by way of our standard bearer and vice standard bearer who have a record. Our standard bearer has an enviable record that anybody can look at and want to be. Here's a man who has worked. He's worked in government. He's worked in, he has his own law firm for more than 40 years. No one can come up to say this man here, stole government money when he worked with the government. He's used his legal practice to help people. You get in trouble, you don't have the means. Gongla is always the Togo person, the Togo lawyer you can go to, poor man's lawyer. He renders these services without even charging people. So the record is there over the last 30, 40 years. And his own advocacy, not to mention his advocacy for human rights, for freedom, for fairness, for equality. Those are the virtues that he stands for, and that is reflected within the Liberian People's Party. So come October 10, we're calling upon our people, go to the polls. Don't vote with your feet. Don't stay home. As our standard bearer would say, you be the change that you want to see happen. Go to the polls and vote. Vote for Gonglo, vote for Yapawolo. In the drama you heard, the way to identify them is by the traditional wear they have. They're the only people that will have the traditional wear, because we believe in our African culture. Standard bearer has said over and over, once he's elected, people, the tillers in our country will make so much money, they won't even know where all that money coming from. So go to the polls and vote. Join us this Saturday. Please. Come out to support our fundraiser. We want to raise money, to train, as you heard from our colleague, we want to recruit and train poll watchers. Poll watchers are the gatekeepers, of our elections or our democracy. When you vote, we want to be sure when you vote for Gonglo, that vote is counted. But you see, we got to recruit poll watchers, pay them. They will be at that polling station for 2 days, maybe 3 days. They have to be paid. That's all the reason why we've been having this fundraiser, to raise some money, to support our poll watchers, to do some things for the party in the course of the campaign, to support our female candidates. So be the change you want to see happen. Don't just criticize and leave it there. You got to become an advocate for yourself and for your country. Do something. So again, we throwing out this appeal to all of you, brothers and sisters in the diaspora, whether you're in the US, Australia, Europe, wherever you are, please come out this Saturday and support us. Any contribution you make, $5, $10, $20, $100 plus, we will accept it because we need it. We need it. I mean, this is a grassroots party. If we can't do it for ourselves, there's nobody can do it for us. We don't have millionaires, billionaires in our ranks, so we're calling upon you. Man, woman, bring out your families, get your friend, let your friends know. Please, if you, whatever chat rooms you're in, on Facebook, whatever, you'll see our advertisement there. Please come out to support us this Saturday. Thank you once again, and thank you, Mr. Zoga.
Well, folks, in Switzerland and in YouTube land, you've seen us tonight. The Liberian People's Party will be celebrating her 39th anniversary on Saturday, September 16, 2003. At the same time, we will have speakers which include women and men, plus the fundraiser to take Councillor Tiawanse Gonglo and Dr. Yure Yaparo to the executive mansion. We're calling on you to come and help us. Give in whatever you can. Speak through your funds to the Liberian people that you want integrity to lead the country. You want progress. At this time, we have come to the end of this talk show. And before you hear us again, will be tomorrow at the same time. But we're going to end with our drama. So, gentlemen, thank you for coming. And while the drama is on, you are welcome.
Better Liberia, better Liberia, better Liberia, better Liberia.
Hey, Umaga.
Eh?
What do you be just talking to yourself?
Hey, Tewa, I'm talking about better Liberia. A better Liberia is possible. A better Liberia where there will be no suffering.
Whoa, better Liberia where we're all suffering?
Yes, Tewa. A better Liberia is possible under the Gonglo and Yabaro Tiki.
You tell me what is your Gonglo and Maya Yaparo will do to make Liberia better?
Mantewa, you made me laugh. Sewa Gongro and Imaya Yabawo. They say when you vote for them for president and vice president, they will develop Liberia. They will develop Liberia and they will do plenty things for Liberia. Number one.
Number one.
They will make sure plenty people in Liberia will get job. And they will get a pay every month. Number two.
Number two.
They will make sure all people, pregnant women, children, they will go to the hospital and get good treatment. And plenty medicine will be in the hospital. That when people get sick, when they go there, so they can be treated good. Number three.
Number three.
Sewa Gongro and Yagbaro say, public work compound will be in all the county. And they will make sure that they will face the road. And the mud business all on the road will finish. That's a good thing there.
That's good thing.
Number four.
Number four.
Councillor Gongro and Dr. Yagbaro say they will make sure they support all the farmers in Liberia. They will support them with machine. And they will make sure that they produce plenty rice in Liberia for us. And the army people will also join them and produce rice in Liberia and make sure they produce plenty rice for our citizens. Number five.
Number five.
Number five.
Number five.
School fee. School fee. Councillor Gongro and Dada Yagbaro say from ABC to 12th grade, the school fee will be free for all government schools. And all the teachers will be paid. And all volunteer teachers will get on government payroll. No more volunteer teacher business.
So that all the things Councillor Gongro and Yagbaro will do that?
Mantewa? No. Let me tell you more. Councillor Gongro and Yagbaro, they get plenty things to do for Liberia.
Tell me more. I want to know. Tell me, I want to hear more.
Councillor Gongro and Dr. Yagbaro say, when you vote for them for president and vice president, there will be no Hame building in Liberia. Hame will run away. Feke. Anybody who do Hame business and kill human being, they will use the law to kill that person.
That's the right thing there.
Number seven. Councillor Gongro and Dr. Yagbaro say, when you vote for them to become president and vice president, there will be no Zogo building in Liberia. They will make sure all the people that begin to buy drugs in the country, they will go after them and make sure they put stop to it. That's not good news there.
That's good news.
So, Mantewa, there are plenty things that Councillor Gongro and Dr. Yagbaro and the Liberian People Party will do to make Liberia better. So, let's stop here. And we'll come back another day. I will still tell you more.
Yeah, we more God. Before you go, let me just ask you one question.
Ask a question, Tiwa. When it comes to the Liberian People Party and Councillor Gongro and Dr. Yagbaro business, I can't get tired. You even want for us to spend the whole day here, we spend the whole day here. Ask a question.
Okay.
You say you want to go now?
We can't go for election until what 10. We will be voting for people we like. Our president, our vice president, our senator, and our representative. How we will know Councillor Gongro and Dr. Yagbaro and the Liberian People Party?
Good. It's easy. You only need to know the clothes they having on and the broom they having in their hand. Only Councillor Sewa Gongro and Dr. Imaya Yagbaro having the same traditional clothes and hat. And the color are the Liberian flag color, red, white, and blue. And Councillor Sewa Gongro and Dr. Imaya Yagbaro, when you check it from up coming down, they are number 6 on the ballot paper. Councillor Sewa Gongro and Imaya Yagbaro, they are the only people that have the broom laying on their clothes. And the Liberian People Party sound also that a broom.
Umoga, thank you for telling me all about the Liberian People Party.
Government is the place to serve, not to steal. A better Liberia is possible. Honor Councillor Sewa Gongro and Dr. Emmanuel Yagbaro. Let us vote for them, yeah.
Lima guaya ume bongo. La biama ya obore.
Better Liberia, better Liberia, better Liberia.